Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. I heard that.
We're going to be talking about love. And I want to start out with a couple of my personal favorite verses out of John 15. And it's John 15, 12 through 14. And it goes, "My command is this, to love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends. And you are my friends if you do what I command you." And now it was Jesus saying these words. And me personally, when I think of laying down my life for someone, my first thought is, well, stepping in front of a bus or physically dying for someone. Now, Jesus did physically die for us. His death was the perfect sacrifice that cleared our sins. However, as Christians, we aren't always called to physically die for our friends. In fact, a lot of what Jesus meant for us, while it may be that physical death, a lot of it is that sort of self-sacrificial nature towards our friends and other people. You see, in laying down your life, it doesn't have to be death. It just has to be something that you are sacrificing, you are laying down for someone else. For example, missing that amazing movie you were going to go to instead go to a friend's house and encourage them in prayer. You see what I mean here? It's taking things that you want and sacrificing them for the good of others. Now, a little bit earlier in John 13, verse 34, Jesus told his disciples, he says, "My new command is going to be this." He said, "You are going to love one another and love your neighbor as yourself." Now, what he's doing here in those earlier verses is just sort of getting into the swing of things so that the disciples will understand later on what he means when he says, "Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends." See, he's just sort of laying the groundwork for them so that they can kind of understand what he means when he's saying that they have to lay down their lives. And in the case of the disciples, it was a physical death that they laid down for their friends or for other people. Now, it says in Romans 12:2, it says, "Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And in my opinion, part of the renewing of your mind is sort of adopting that self-sacrificial nature that Jesus was telling us about. You know, as Christians and as teenagers, we're called to do things by God that isn't the normal thing to do. It isn't the thing that's cool. But that is what we are supposed to do. We are called to do what God said and not conform to this world. Now, in conclusion, our calling from God is to love each other as Jesus loved us, through selflessly helping others and leading them into the saving grace, just showing them what Jesus meant, showing them what he meant by laying down our lives.